Hey, welcome back to another session of Couch Therapy. And today I want to talk about loss and grief. Because no matter who you are, you're going to deal with loss on some level, whether it is loss of a loved one, or a family member, or even a loss of a pet. We all deal with it in some way or another. And it hurts pretty badly. I lost my sister when I was 21. She was only 23 years old. The way that it was described to me was that when she was pregnant with her second son, the placenta was only giving 85% of the nutrients to the child, and 15% of the nutrients were leaking into her uterus. And about 3 months after the birth, it caused sepsis. And that's what she died from. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through because she was my best friend. She was my confidant. She was the one that I could say anything to, be myself around, and she would understand completely. Even when I was little, I could barely speak until I was about 4 years old. And for some reason, somehow, my sister knew exactly what I was talking about, even when I was mumbling, you know. I would say something incoherently, and she's like, "Oh, he wants milk," or "Oh, he's hungry." I haven't truly talked about my sister's death. I mean, I've been to therapists. I even had one therapist cry, which is not what I need. That's for sure. It was rough, man. She was the light, and I was the dark. We complemented each other, like yin and yang. She was a beautiful soul. And I'd like to believe that we're here for a purpose. Every single one of us is on earth for a purpose. And when that purpose is fulfilled, that's when we die. That's when we go up to heaven. I hope there is an afterlife. I'm not some Jesus freak, but I hope that there is something more than this. Because if there isn't, man, I don't know what I would do with myself. People say, "Oh, live life to the fullest." What does that even mean? Live life to the fullest. You can't even get up on your 2 feet. You can't even walk. You have to crawl. I don't know, man. And then just recently, I lost my mom. Just about 3 weeks ago. And I didn't think that was going to hit me as hard as it did. You know? Because that one was an overdose. She was a drug addict like I was. Same stuff. I used to do drugs with her. My mom did drugs with me. My dad let me do drugs in his house. I mean, there was no accountability whatsoever. I even did a video celebrating my mom's sobriety and not knowing that she was on fentanyl like I was. The hypocrisy on both sides. I was celebrating her sobriety while complimenting my own, even though I was high as a kite. I don't want to die, even though sometimes I wish it to be so. Mostly, I wish that they would have taken me instead of my sister. I've already said that on here, but it's true. I honestly wish they would have taken me instead of her. Because it's just too much. I'm trying so hard to make a life for myself, but every single time I have a foothold, I slip and I fall back down. Right back down the mountain. And I have to claw my way back up again. I haven't fully processed the death of my sister. But I think talking about it helps. You know, when my mom was beating us, I took the brunt of the punishment, and she would take care of me afterwards. It's kind of the nature of our relationship. You know, that's why we became so close. It's because of my mom's abuse. We still fought like brother and sister, you know. But deep down, we had such a strong connection. And her voice, so angelic. Better than I could ever be. Don't get me wrong, she had her issues too. We were like a family of drug addicts. You know? And it started early on when I started getting cluster migraines when I was about 12 years old. And instead of my mom giving me Advil or Tylenol, she would give me oxycodone. Here, this would help. And my God, I loved the feeling. And I chased that high for so long. For nearly, 20 years? 20 years I've been a drug addict. And then my sister was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. That's where your joints ache for seemingly no reason. And she was prescribed oxycodone. And I remember stealing a bunch of her medication, and I blamed it on her best friend. And I don't know if my parents know about that, actually. I would get pills for her because I had the dealer. And then I would give her rides to her doctor's appointment. And she would front me some pills too. So it was It was a vicious cycle, you know, and a game that you just cannot win. So at first, we thought that my sister died of an overdose because she went to the hospital the day before she died because she had this pain in her side. And the doctors didn't do any blood work. If they had, they would have caught the sepsis. But they basically just gave her some amoxicillin, some pain pills, and sent her home. And then that night she died in her sleep. So we thought it was just an excess of pills. And I blamed myself for my sister's death. That's a kind of pain that I don't wish on anybody. To think that you're responsible for your sibling's death. You know, the only reason I was popular in high school was because of her. We would sing in perfect harmony with each other in the school hallways. It was beautiful. We even had what we called, oh, I don't know what we called it. I don't remember. Oh, no. Guitar Tuesday. We had Guitar Tuesday where our friend would bring his guitar and I would bring my keyboard and we would just jam in the cafeteria and sing and just have so much fun with it. I miss my sister. Big time. But you know, loss is not confined to just death. Loss of a loved one can be someone who just moved or someone you can't see anymore. I lost my son. He's not dead, but I can't see him. I haven't seen him for 7 years. He's going to be 11 in November. I haven't seen him since he was 3. It hurts. Because I missed out on so much. I'm missing out on so much. And that loss, I grieve so much. I was watching a movie last night, and when it comes to children, I always cry my eyes out. Especially if they remind me of my son. Can't bear the pain. It's part of the reason why I did so many drugs. So I could escape the pain. So I could just ignore it for a while. But I can't ignore it anymore. I can't. I have to keep going. I have to stay strong. Even when I'm feeling weak. I have to persevere. I can't much I want to, I can't. No matter how much it hurts, keep just chugging through. Just keep going. So if I stop now, it's the end of my life. And I don't want to die. And the people that love me, that truly love me, they don't want me to die either. I know that. Grief is a strong force. Much like gravity, it pulls you down so far down you don't think you can get up. It is so painful. But you know, you can learn from that pain. There's a lot that I've learned. A lot that I would do differently. But hindsight's 2020. Those days are gone. All I can do is look towards the future. That's all I can do. And I'm just wishing, hoping, and praying that the future holds something better for me. And I wish that for everybody that's watching or listening or going through loss and going through the stages of grief, that it's not the end of your life just because someone else's life ended. Your life still goes on. And you'll be just fine. I know that. I know that from experience. No matter how much it hurts, I'm still blessed to be on this side of the dirt. Still blessed.